Okay, so next on the quarterback list is Justin Herbert, senior out of Oregon. As you can see, I'm a Washington Husky fan, so I got to watch Herbert a number of times, um, just watching the Pac-12 and also those Husky Oregon games. And I'm trying to say it, I'm not a Ducks fan at all. Obviously, they owned us for a decade straight, and it wasn't just like little owning. They really owned the Huskies, like averaging 24-point victories for I think it's 12 straight years actually. Huskies got a couple. Oregon's had the last two. At least they've been closer. Now that said, like although I'm not a fan of the Oregon Ducks, and that's just a bias I probably have, I think Herbert has the ability to be a really good NFL quarterback. Um, he's been playing, for 4 years. I know his freshman year was kind of on and off a little bit with injuries and different things. He has all the size and the arm talent you need. Um, he seems like a really good down to earth kid as well from the things that I've seen and read about him. I question at times if Oregon really played to his strengths or not. I think Oregon could have even been better at times if they'd have used him a little bit differently. But either way, like I think that we have seen in the scouting combine, in the Senior Bowl week, you could really see that he just has that ability. The only concern, I mean, he has the experience. I don't even know if I have like major concerns around him. He seems like a pretty safe. I don't know that he really will bust, or that he'll be like huge, like great. I don't know. He seems like a very safe bet. The history of Oregon quarterbacks isn't great. When you look at Mariota and Joey Harrington, even back to Akili Smith, um, so that hasn't been great. But I think he's a different quarterback than those guys. He's got definitely more physical tools, as far as a passer goes, and he's pretty athletic. And it's funny because up to this point, between Tua, Burrow, and Herbert that I've reviewed, he probably seems like the one I'm most positive about, and that's probably true given that I've seen him play the most. I really think he has the ability. The only thing will be is his leadership. He seems like a pretty vanilla kid. Doesn't get too high, doesn't get too low. Almost like an Eli Manning type, with his leadership. That he's a pretty quiet guy, and that works in some cases. We definitely saw that it worked well for Eli Manning. Uh, he had a great career. Herbert is more talented physically than Eli Manning. I'm just talking about temperament and personality. He seems like an Eli Manning, and so I think if he gets with the right team, he'll be great. I don't know you can really change someone's personality and turn them into some rah type of leader, but I don't have a lot of concerns around him. I think that he does have a certain ceiling but also a floor that others may not have. I think that he's a pretty safe bet. So it'll be interesting to see where he goes. Does he end up? Do the Dolphins pick him over Tua? Does he fall to the Chargers? Do the Chargers go get him or go get Tua, and or does he somehow slide and um, to Oakland? I don't. They just got Mariota, so they may not need it. Does New England make a play somehow to get him? Who knows? I think he is kind of a wild card as far. I think he will go in the top 10. It's just a matter of what the Chargers decide to do, what the Dolphins really decide to do, who they choose. But if the Dolphins go with Tua, Herbert is. I don't know. We'll see. It depends on what the Chargers' plan is. So it'll be interesting to see. But I do think that Herbert has a chance to have a really good career.